Hello, welcome to another video on the farm. And today we are back at it with the French 75 field gun. Once again, do not jump on me. No. Cats. But big reveal here. Ta-da. So I did a lot more since the last video. Cat, will you get off? Get out of the shop. Damn cats. Alright, anyways, like I said, I put seats on here. I just got done welding. That's why all the cords are here. Put this seat on, mounted the gun, welded that on, and put this kind of bracket stuff on here. It's still not really done yet. there's a lot of stuff I still need to do. Like another thing that I didn't mention last video I'm gonna end up doing, this idea of my dad's, I'm gonna put some on the inside here, but I'm gonna put boards up along here to cover up this hole. Cause like, I was thinking of like, I might use this as like little spoiler. Maybe in like the far future, I may be doing like, may start another channel for doing like little World War I short videos. And if I do, I'm probably gonna use this gun for it. Or I might even use it in like, little airsoft battles, because potatoes aren't exactly lethal. Anyways, but I'm gonna board this up because like if you were using this in airsoft battle and someone like, all it would take is someone with like a sniper rifle or someone to get really close and you could shoot the person firing. So I'm gonna board that up. Still leave this hole open just for my sight to sit. Again, just an old BB gun sight. I'm not gonna make it a functional sight because like I said last video, potato guns aren't exactly the most accurate of guns. Just because like it's hard to aim them because it's hard to gauge where the potato is gonna go. It can depend on like how big the potato is, how heavy it is, all that. How much hairspray you add or propane. But yeah, it's pretty hard to gauge. And so how I mounted this is all it is a chunk of like square iron of some kind, and I welded it on here. It took freaking forever and like 3 people to get this to where it looked to hold this while I measured. 2 pieces of this U iron again, 2 screws, and then I screwed them into the gun here. And take the back off here. Hard to do with one hand. Come on. Hold on. There it is. I'm gonna add like a handle in there so it twists easier. But, sliding. We're gonna add, I cut the tips off and they're not going into here. I just cut them off where it looked good so they stop in the inner pipe there. And again, wait, can you see? Yeah, you can see down it barely. It's open, it's just where it's pointing is dark. But anyways, yeah, that's how I mounted that. It's pretty simple. And I just went and welded this on it. You know what, I'll pick that up later. But it actually elevates the gun. Elevates it pretty nicely too. So yeah, it's about as far as it goes. And I'd say for shooting a potato, that's a pretty good angle. This thing doesn't operate like for example, the hinge would be in the wrong place for real French 75, but I'm not exactly going 100% accurate. That's because it's kind of more of just a fun project. My wheel isn't supposed to be like that. Yeah, that's better. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave that up and then crank it back down. Works. I'm surprised this elevation works as well as it does. Didn't come out too bad, but anyways, like I was saying earlier, I added these seats on. That's the person who elevates and aims, and this would be the person shooting and not loading. You'd just be shooting. But so I'm pretty sure like the crew that operated this was like a total of like 5 or 6 people to operate one. But the real one would have a cart that would that's what this hitch was originally for. So when they first developed this gun, well, I guess this video is going to turn from talking about the gun to talking about its history. Anyways, a little history lesson. When they developed this, reason they developed this the French 75, you can even look it up, is because the French, after losing I think it was the Franco-Prussian War, thought they lost because of their lack of artillery. So they came out with like the best of the best artillery. It was really good artillery for the time. Like this thing absolutely tore up during World War I and most of the wars to follow. But so it was like one of the first guns to have the piston, or I don't think it was the first. It was one of the first. It was pretty advanced for its time. But anyways, I'm getting off track. It would have a cart that would get towed behind it that'd be loaded with all your aiming supplies, your binoculars, all that fun stuff. And it had like a little box that you could use to set the times. And another thing, how the shells worked is there'd be a fuse timer on the tip of the shell when it got fired off. You could set the fuse to when it explodes and shoots out all the shrapnel. This originally wasn't like an anti-tank gun, probably because they didn't have tanks when this was developed. It was a shrapnel round, and it would and once that fuse went out, it would explode. So you could set it, and I think it would be you'd have one person aiming, one person firing. You'd have like your commander would give your orders to fire, and then you'd have that's three. And then you'd have like one dude who would be setting the fuses on the shells. Once they get it sighted in, they don't really need him anymore. But then you'd have like two guys. Then you'd have your guy loading, and then you'd have a guy over at the cart who would be handing the shells to the person loading. So yeah, it's like a 5 or 6 crew to shoot this. For this one, I'm not gonna build a whole cart because that would be a lot of resources. Which I built this thing out of all scrap metal, and that basically burnt up all the scrap metal we have. So yeah, I don't think I can build that. But anyways. But your person sits here. Let me see if I can crawl in here. I'm tall. This thing's almost up to my hips, and I'm like 5'8". But yeah, you sit here, pretty sturdy. Wobbles a little bit, but that's just from that bending a little bit. But the thing about mine is if I sit up straight, my head is exposed. That's going about to my eye level. It's about at like chin level for me right now, so my head would be exposed. So you kind of got to duck down, especially on this one. And then this would be your dude on the real one, because this would come back like 45 inches every time it shot. It would be like a way bigger space, and you kind of had to scooch away. You couldn't just rest on the gun, or you get your arm broken. But you duck down. This would be your little aiming sight. You could adjust it, and then the real one also had a what is that called? Elevation, and I don't remember what it's called, but it had a gear in here that would allow it to it couldn't swing, but it could move side to side like 3 degrees, I think. It wasn't much, but because I don't exactly have the technology to make something like that, I just stuck with elevation, which is what I did for my last design. You could elevate it to what height, set this to what height you want to be shooting at, and then shoot. And then let's see if I can crawl out of here. Ow. Okay, got it out of there. And then for your shooter, you'd be sitting facing backwards. And then again, you kind of push yourself up against the shield here just to get out of the way of this coming back. And then this he would just be here to shoot. He'd have this thing would have the real one just had a simple lever that you flipped over and it opened the breech. And then you'd have your pull cord, or you'd pull it and then let it go, and that cat, stop it. Cats. But for this one, when we possibly do if we gotta shoot it really fast, this guy's just gonna be here to hold the shell up while your person loading goes in with a plunger and pushes the potato out of the shell. And then you could just drop the shell and screw that on. And I'm just gonna have a little barbecue clicker on a cord that comes out. You just push it, Shoots it. Cat, quit crawling me. You smell like rotten milk. Nasty cat. But yeah, that's about it for right now. I still need to make 2 bits come out at an angle to come back there. And yeah, that's about it for now. So yeah, that's so yeah, I gotta make that. I gotta put a sight on it. Then I gotta get a sparker, do a little bit of modification to the gun, and then last but not least, I'm probably gonna paint this. Although if I want to paint it, I kind of gotta pull it apart. Not pull any wells apart, but I gotta pull the wheels off. Gotta unscrew the gun so I can get all the nooks and crannies on there. And I'm gonna go for like I'll post on I'll do a post on how I'm gonna paint it, kinda. But yeah, that's about it for now. This is a French 95. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.